Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale says there's a case for a Bitcoin only reserve, but the government shouldn't be deciding winners and losers among other cryptocurrencies. Take a listen.
I think we glossed over the why don't you like the reserve for Bitcoin? I don't think Pompliano.
You know, I think there are some arguments to do a just Bitcoin reserve. I think choosing other winners in the space. I think he listed off a few different winners. I'm actually long some of those currencies. It's probably good for me if they do it from a financial perspective. I don't think that's the proper role of government to pick winners and losers. We got to be very careful. This administration is very properly cutting hundreds of billions of grift and waste. Like, we're finding out that these far left Democrats are basically a party of just stealing free money. Our side should not be doing things that are feeding money towards our side and our friends. We should be doing things based on the role of government.
Yeah.
And that's who wanted a Bitcoin-only reserve, was bag holders and the billionaires out there. They want a Bitcoin-only reserve. And the reason that they don't want a diversified reserve is because it levels the playing field. It allows us, the working class, to make a lot of money off of our investment in crypto. That's what it comes down to. And they're scared shitless of XRP. They know it's going to be the #1 cryptocurrency. Lazarus has now fully laundered the proceeds of the Bybit hack. They have transferred 500,000 ETH mainly to native Bitcoin. So think about that. All these other countries are holding all of this Bitcoin now, right? And the US, they go and acquire all this Bitcoin for this strategic reserve. And then all of these countries just decide, well, we're just going to sell off all of our Bitcoin. Screw the United States. I think it's way too China controlled. The fact that Ukraine has a lot of Bitcoin, that's alarming. That shows you that a lot of money was most likely laundered through Ukraine. We've seen it with FTX. I think it continues with Tether. But it's, if anything doesn't deserve to be in the reserve, it's Bitcoin. It's tied to way too much illicit activity, in my opinion. This makes even more sense now that XRP will be included in the strategic crypto reserve. XRP equals the real digital gold. This comes from Smoke. And it's the real digital gold for banks. You know, we've seen this come from banks in the past. Institutions look at XRP as a great store of value. So whenever you hear Bitcoin's digital gold, it's a great store of value. That's coming from retail and bag holders. They got to keep that narrative propped up because they're trying to keep the price of Bitcoin propped up. But the banks, the institutions, they don't see it that way. And that's why I always tell you, invest the way institutions invest. Look at the long term. Don't look at the price of something today and say, oh, well, that must be a great investment. Look at the price of Bitcoin right now. Because if you dig deep, you realize a lot of the value in Bitcoin is not real value. And eventually, all the smart money is going to shift toward real value. I've seen this about 6 or 7 different times. Breaking: the U.S. government may seize Ripple's XRP escrow for National Reserve use. And then I see them go on to say that they're going to seize holders' XRP as well. Let me tell you right now, Ripple's escrow is not going to end up in the hands of the U.S. government. Some of it may. Maybe a few billion, maybe $1 billion. We don't know yet. But a lot of that escrow is going to end up at the IMF, the BIS, other central banks. You know, a lot of central banks are building out their CBDCs on the XRP ledger. And I'm sure Ripple already made a lot of promises with that XRP escrow. But they're not going to come in and seize Ripple's XRP. It makes no sense. But this is the narrative that they're pushing today. And this comes from Black Swan Capitalist. They seen what I saw. Price manipulation. Here's something most retail investors fail to understand. Crypto is one of the most controlled and manipulated asset classes in existence. Deep pockets, institutions, whales, and insiders have been playing this game for years, using volatility to amass even greater wealth, while the average investor chases headlines. But this won't last forever. Once real utility, global adoption, and regulatory clarity kick in, the market will stabilize, and the once explosive opportunities will shrink. Ever wonder why the entire market moves in sync? That's no coincidence. Liquidity flows, algorithmic trading, and institutional strategies dictates it. I think once we get regulations, that's going to be a game changer. That's going to change the game going forward. We are not going to see the price manipulation like we've seen in the past. Things are going to change. All of a sudden, a handful of cryptocurrencies are really going to start to move upward. And you are going to make a lot of money when that happens. But right now, it's still the wild, wild west in crypto. This is why regulations are important. They're going to benefit utility-driven cryptocurrencies. They're not going to benefit speculation and hype. And it is true. I always tell you, think like an institutional investor. Don't sit there and look at the chart wondering if maybe I could sell here and buy back if the price goes lower. Because sometimes the market tends to go in the other direction. Then you panic. Oh no, this is the moment XRP takes off. So now you sold at, let's say, $2 and thinking that the price was going to go down to $1.75. But instead it goes to $2.25 because you're in a panic now thinking this is that moment. You buy back in at $2.25. I've seen so many people do that in the past. I've seen people even talk about doing that in the past. That's why sometimes it's better to just do nothing. If you're not buying the dips with new money, just do nothing and wait for it to happen. Commerce Secretary Lutnick, Trump may work out a deal on tariffs with Canada and Mexico tomorrow. This could be very bullish. This is today. And most likely this will happen even before this video goes live. So let's see how this played out. Take a listen to what he says here.
He's going to come out today angry that Americans are still being killed. Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because, you know, he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more, and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow. So somewhere in the middle will likely be the outcome. The president moving with the Canadians and Mexicans, but not all the way.
So that could be bullish for crypto. Like I said, this will most likely happen even before this video goes live. And I'm going to predict right now, if he rolls back on tariffs, that could send the crypto space higher. Crypto rumor mill. The crypto rumor is that Donald Trump will announce on Friday at the Crypto Summit that there will be zero capital gains tax on US-based cryptocurrencies. I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and this kind of makes sense if you read this right here. Breaking. AP is reporting right this minute that the IRS is planning to lay off as much as half of its 90,000 person workforce. Last week, the IRS closing 120 offices, representing 14 to 20% of offices. Are you starting to see the end game in sight? that would make sense that he ends the taxes on US-made cryptocurrencies. I'm going to say this again. Any Bitcoin that is mined in the United States and is proven to be mined in the United States should not be subject to capital gains tax. If you're buying it on an exchange, then you should have to pay capital gains tax. That's the way I look at it going forward for Bitcoin. But I think we are on the path to ending the IRS. I think they're downsizing everything right now, like you see here. DOJ, FBI headquarters listed for sale as Trump shrinks government. The Trump administration is considering selling iconic federal buildings, including the DOJ, FBI, and Labor Department headquarters, as part of a major downsizing push. You know what I thought of when I seen all this? This right here. Remember, full list of U.S. banks closing amid nationwide shutdown. 1,000 branches set to shutter by end of 2024. I think we are going into a fully automated digital system. I think the U.S. government is going digital. The banking system is going digital. Things are going to be fully automated. That's why everything is downsizing right now. I even said it in previous videos, back in the bear market, when I used to do Great Reset videos all the time. I said they have to consolidate the banks because they're not going to onboard all of these banks to a central bank digital currency or even digital money, digital dollar. They're going to want to shrink them down so it's easier to onboard a handful of banks. But I think we're going to see this in the government. I think we're going to still see it with the banking system. And I think we're going to see it in other areas as well. But I think we are pushing into the digital automated age. The Senate just passed Senator Ted Cruz's CRA repealing the IRS DeFi reporting rule with an incredibly strong bipartisan margin, 70-27. Now it's the House's turn and then onto the president's desk to sign into law. While this is the first crypto bill this Congress will pass, it will not be the last. That is going to push DeFi ahead in the United States. That's good for us because DeFi equals passive income for retail investors. Like I said, you know, everybody thinks it's going to take a year for institutional adoption. Once regulations happen, we're going to see quick institutional adoption. Then we're going to see gradual institutional adoption. It's going to happen over the course of a year, but it's going to happen all along the way. Some institutions will beat others to crypto. So you don't have to wait for a year for your XRP to take off. I wasn't saying that in previous videos. I think what you're going to see is alt season. That's going to happen. And you're going to see a massive run-up. But after that happens, we're going to watch institutional adoption happen as well, pushing the price even higher. Top 5 crypto narratives shaping 2025. This comes from Cointelegraph. So AI-powered agents in DeFi. That's going to be big, and that's still early. And if you have a decent AI agent, that AI agent is going to go and get you passive income on a daily basis from your crypto holdings. You will never have to sell your crypto. Tokenized real-world assets. Tokenizing real-world assets like real estate and treasuries will bridge TradFi and DeFi. This could unlock a $2 to $16 trillion market by 2030. Archax says they're bringing $30 to $50 trillion to the XRP ledger within the next year. So how is it only a $2 to $16 trillion market by 2030? Even the World Economic Forum says by 2030, it's an $867 trillion market. By then, we will all be retired, living in mansions somewhere, or sitting on a beach sipping drinks out of a coconut. U.S. crypto regulations. 2025 could be the year for stablecoin regulation in the United States. Expect clear frameworks to fuel institutional adoption. Like I've been saying all along, regulations equals adoption. Institutional adoption equals mass adoption. Altcoin based and staked crypto ETFs. They're going to be all the hype in the very near future. I'm talking within the coming weeks. We're just waiting on Atkins, in my opinion. Once he's at the SEC, things will move much quicker. Meme coins, the resilient crypto cockroaches. Meme coins, once jokes, now major players. Despite volatility, their strong communities and viral growth make them a unique force in crypto. Here's what I see for meme coins. Some will survive. Small handful will survive. I think the rest will just be gone. The rug pulls will be gone. I think another thing that is holding back this run right now is the fact that a lot of liquidity is still tied up in meme coins. We need to see that meme coin shift happen, because once that liquidity starts coming into Bitcoin and into the rest of these altcoins, I think that's when you're going to see a massive surge. But you know, what I think is going to push that liquidity out of meme coins is regulations are now on the horizon. They could come even before summer of this year. And that could be a very big push for altcoins. Not to say that's going to happen right away, but it looks like we're already leaning in that direction. Another thing that's going to happen with regulations is we're going to see that bottleneck happen with exchanges. That's why if you're holding crypto on an exchange that does not do KYC, AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering, that exchange could be gone like an overnight event, and all your money would be gone with it. It's very important that if you're going to store your crypto on the exchange, which I warned you about multiple times, make sure they are at least following regulations and keep your crypto safe. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.